What's up, guys? Today I'm going to share with you the keys to scaling a $600,000 a month personal brand. I currently work with a client who's making over $600,000 a month. He has approximately 80 employees, a lot of sales guys in there, and a lot of people from fulfillment and stuff. He's a marketing agency, business owner, and he helps people scale to make a lot of money and stuff. And so I'm pretty much handling his entire personal brand. I'm helping him scale. And recently he's been having a lot of success and growing on social media and stuff. Today I'm going to give you the entire blueprint of how I think about how to scale like 100,000, like 6-figure, 7-figure, 8 to 9-figure entrepreneurs. I've already worked with people making over $1 million a month. And so today, here's the entire blueprint. My entire goal today is to build enough trust with you, share the wisdom that God has placed in my life, and build enough trust with you so that one day we can work together to make money, fund missions, and build churches together. So here's the reality of most $600,000 a month business owners, or just honestly just any 7-figure entrepreneurs, multi-7-figure entrepreneurs. They always have the same exact problem. Most of them have the same exact situation, especially in the online space. Their offer is already dialed in. They already have a lot of clients, a lot of results for clients, or else they wouldn't be at this level. They already have a very good sales process, and they have a relatively good client acquisition process, funnel pretty much. They're very good at getting clients, essentially. Most of them are running ads. I mean, at this point, you are running ads. Most of them are running ads, and they're relying on their content creation pretty much to build as much trust with people as possible to essentially reduce the churn rate for clients, and also reduce the amount of unsatisfied leads, unqualified leads, and unsatisfied clients pretty much. The thought process of scaling the personal brand of someone that is big like this, pretty much the running of a social media account is similar to running an offer. Exactly like how you would structure like a high ticket offer, for example, is you think about it in a very, very, very particular way. You run the ads to convert, stories to convert, to sell, and the organic content, all the free content, like the Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and stuff like that. The entire goal is to build as much trust as possible, because the entire goal of a personal brand, to build a personal brand, what is a personal brand? A personal brand is authenticity. It is getting people attracted towards you. For example, if you look at someone who has a strong personal brand, it would be Jesus. The man has the best influencer this world has ever seen, the best man this world has ever seen, the best personal brand this world has ever seen. Why? Because people were nonstop talking about him, and wherever he went, people always came towards him. And whatever he said, let's say, follow me, people would follow him and give up literally everything that they have. Right? For example, like I became Christian, and then I gave my entire life to Jesus Christ. And so that is an example of a personal brand. A good personal brand has as much trust from the masses as possible. Someone that has a relatively low personal brand, they're not known, and people don't really trust them. Someone that has a good personal brand, most people, they're known from a lot of people, and also they have a lot of trust from the people. So whenever pretty much they would release like a business offer, they would start to open like a charity, they would start to open a certain business and whatsoever. No matter what they do, people will flock towards them, and the entire goal of your organic content, of your content creation process, is to build as much trust as possible with the people, especially at that level. Because at that level, like, you already have enough, you're already special enough, you're already a giant in yourself, by yourself, pretty much. On social media, if you look at like the statistics, is like less than 1% of this population. And so you're already a high performer, and so there's already something special about you, so people naturally go towards you. So the entire goal, if you're making the content for someone like this, if you're trying to build a big personal brand for this, the entire goal is to look at this, what makes them special, and to go all in on that and build as much trust as possible. Because more trust essentially equals more sales. More trust equals more people that come to your vision, come to your movement, follow your church, and whatsoever. So there's like 3 key things that I want to talk about today. Number 1 is finding the differentiator. Number 2 is maximizing the authority frame. And number 3 is leveraging inputs versus outputs. Finding the differentiator. What exactly is the differentiator? A differentiator is what makes you different as a business owner. What exactly makes you different from everyone else? Why should I listen to you? And a lot of people want to build personal brands, and what they do is that a lot of people make this mistake, and I used to make this mistake also, even for my own clients, my own millionaire clients. What I did is I looked at what everyone else is doing, every competition is doing. I look at that, and I tried to copy it, but changing one thing. Honestly, most content creation agencies are doing exactly that right now. And so I used to do that The philosophy there was just, okay, if you want to make something that works, look at something that's already working and just do it your way. For example, McDonald's is making burgers, and so Wendy's can make burgers. They're not copying McDonald's, they're making burgers the Wendy's way. That works in a sense of, to test out a market, that works. To test out if people want something, that works wonderfully. However, if you're already known, you already have something different about you, something special about you, then your entire goal is to find a way to differentiate yourself and be the personal brand itself. Your goal is to be the personal brand and not be a personal brand amongst a lot of other personal brands. And so the reason why most businesses fail, especially with content creation, is that they don't really understand the concept of blue ocean versus red ocean. Essentially, blue ocean is an ocean where there's no sharks, there's no one else, you're the only one. And red ocean is when there's a lot of competition. For example, if you look at a typical marketing agency here, where I'm in Montreal, and so there's a lot of marketing agencies here, a lot of them will promise the same exact things. Oh, I'm going to offer you a lot of leads. I'm going to offer you a lot of views. But then most clients, the leads, the prospects that are looking to work with this marketing agency brand, what's happening is that most of them will ask, okay, but why exactly should I work with you? What makes you different? When you are able to find the differentiator of your personal brand, your entire goal is to go all in as much as possible on that one thing. For example, if you're like a typical marketing agency, you're probably offering views or leads. And even though the transformation is very attractive, they can find cheaper or better alternatives elsewhere. Essentially, there's like 10 different market agencies that can promise views, for example. So then it's like the entire goal of building a personal brand, what is it? Is it for more sales? You can run ads and help just vlog your day to build as much trust as possible. But if the goal is to build like a raving fan personal brand, or a cult-like, I don't really do use that word, but like a cult-like audience a little bit, and whatever you do, people will fully trust you, blindly trust you. The entire goal is to find out why current clients buy from you right now, dissect it down to the first principles, look like truly, like the core thing. Why exactly you and not the other market agency, for example? Why you and no one else? Why Jesus Christ and no one else? Because he's the only God. There's no other God. And so your entire goal is to find out, okay, not just, oh, I'm going to offer you views, right? For example, Jesus, oh, I'm just going to pray for you. A lot of people can pray. A lot of people can, let's say you're here trying to build churches. A lot of people can build churches. Now the question you have to ask yourself is, what makes this church different, and why would anyone come to this church? Because every church can say, oh, we have fellowship, we have we preach the Bible, we preach the Word of God. Every church can say that, right? Technically. But then there are specific things about your church that makes you special, and your entire goal when you're making a social media for a church, for example, is to find out what exactly makes people come to your church and not every other church. And you dissect it down, like you find 3, 5, 10 different reasons, and every single video that you do, you should go towards those things. Do not look at what other churches are doing. Do not look at whatever every trend is happening right now. Don't look at you can look to find inspiration somewhere, but just know that when you find inspiration somewhere else, you are entering into a red ocean where a lot of people are doing the same exact thing. If you look at the core person, for example, I'm working with the CEO right now, like the $600,000 a month business owner. I'm working with the CEO. What makes this guy different from everyone else is XYZ ABC. So every single video that I make should be towards XYZ, ABC, and not just about, oh, he offers leads to clients. He's really good. He has client results. Everyone has client results. Everyone's very good. But what makes you specifically different from everyone else? God has placed gifts and talents in every single person. And so your goal is to be able to steward it well and use it in a way that people can find out what God has placed inside of you as soon as humanly possible. The sooner people are able to identify what makes you different from everyone else in the world, the sooner they'll start buying you or come to your events or come to your church or come to your outreach and stuff like that, pretty much. Because let's say you're a typical marketing agency and you're offering views like every other marketing agency, they can find cheaper because everyone else is doing the same exact thing, and because they're finding a cheaper or better alternative, you're not different than anyone, and you lose leverage in your authority frame. Talking about authority frame, the number 2 thing that we did is your entire goal on social media is to maximize your authority frame as much as possible. What is your authority frame? The authority frame is the fact that people perceive you as the authority in your market. You don't need to be the best authority in the world. You don't need to be the absolute best in the world to give advice or something. You just need to have a certain authority relative to the person that's seeing you. In the sense of, let's say, I am not a good basketball player. In fact, I don't have any basketball in my house, right? But if, let's say, I play a game of basketball, I would be very, very bad in front of Michael Jordan, for example. But if there's an 8-year-old, that's right here, my nephew who's 8-year-old would love to play basketball, I would demolish him. And so in his eyes, he perceives me with the authority frame. He perceives me with the authority frame. And so every single video that you do, you should have the authority frame. Meaning your background should give you the authority. You should have clean clothes. You should look clean. You should not look like you let's say you're a business owner making $600,000 a month. You should not have clothes that make you feel like you don't have any money, right? I'm not talking about wear Gucci whatsoever. I'm not a fan of those anyways, but I'm not saying you need to wear those things, but I'm saying you need to look clean. You need to look like how people perceive you, and the experience that they feel about you when they watch your videos or when they talk to you in real life should exceed their expectation when they see your videos. And so, for example, here, what people don't pay when you understand why the authority frame is so important is because people don't really pay for information. There's a lot of information online right now. People don't really pay for your coaching program. They don't pay for the community. They pay for the probability of success. The reason why trust is so important on social media is because when you trust someone, you believe in your heart that they have the key to what you want to go, to where you want to go, to what you want to have. For example, the probability of success for Jesus Christ, for example, to make a miracle is 100%. And so why people believe in God so much, why people follow Jesus Christ so much, his personal brand so much, is because that they know that he is who they think he is, and he is exactly who he says he is. He says, I am God, pretty much. He essentially says, I am God, and the Messiah that you're looking for is me. I am the one you've been looking for. I am the one that's been prophesied in the Old Testament. I am he. I am the one. I am that I am. And so the probability of success, because the Old Testament is filled with prophecies about this Messiah, and the Jews, let's say in the Old Testament, they know that God exists, and God is God, right? God is not a man that he should lie, nor son of man that he's changed his mind. He cannot fake something. He cannot fail. God cannot fail. And so the reason why people kept following Jesus Christ is because he was able to do exactly what people thought he would be able to, and even more. He has 0% failure rate. When you're building a personal brand, or you're making content creation for a brand, your goal is to build as much trust as possible so that people's probability of success in their mind when working with you or through you is 0, or the least amount possible. You're gonna look, if you look at like Shark Tank, or example like investors and stuff, big investors, angel investors, you're gonna see that they almost always choose to pay and invest into the founder, not necessarily the product, not necessarily the service. Yes, it affects, and that is one portion of it, but the most of it comes down to the founder. People pay because they trust a particular person. In the secular world, like in the normal world, Elon Musk, whatever he does, he's gonna have raving fans following him and investing stocks into whatever company he's building, because it is Elon Musk. Because you believe that Elon Musk is so reliable, because the probability of success is so close, like it's so close to 100%, he cannot fail. And so people will constantly come towards him. It's the same exact thing on social media. It is the same exact thing on social media. Your entire goal is to build as much trust as possible with the audience by maximizing the authority frame. The more you have the authority frame, the more people perceive you as the authority on the subject matter, the more they'll trust you. If a founder is trustworthy and has a track record of a performance, a good history of like client success and stuff like that, no matter what they do, it will succeed. And no matter what they do, a lot of clients will come towards them. The objective is to make people fall in love with the entrepreneur himself, not just his service, not just what he's offering and stuff like that, because no matter what he does, people will follow him. For example, in the business world, Patrick Bet-David, no matter what he does, people will follow him. No matter what he does, people will follow him. Elon Musk, no matter what he does, people will follow him. Steve Jobs, when he was alive, no matter what he did, people will follow him. Make people, when you're making content, make people fall in love with the entrepreneur himself. Find out what exactly makes them different, and then after finding out what makes them different, find out how you can position them with the content with a particular authority frame. How to make them look like the authority on the subject matter. If we talk about, let's say, how to play golf, I am not the authority. I might look like I might have the authority frames for my 8-year-old nephew, but I am nowhere near being the authority. Your goal when making content on social media is to have the viewer perceive you as the authority. I'm not the best golf player in the world. Actually, I don't play golf at all. But I'm not the best golf player in the world. But for my 8-year-old nephew, I'm perceived as an authority in what I do. And so your goal on social media is to make content so that the viewers perceive you as the authority in your subject matter. I'm not the authority on all things golf, basketball, but I am an authority on social media. I have helped YouTubers and content creators and companies make for over 214 million views organic on YouTube. I am an authority in my field. And so let's say there was a guy who's handling my personal brand. And so that entire goal of that guy is just to make sure that the viewers feel the authority frame that I have. Maximize everything. Optimize everything as much as possible. Optimize visuals to fit in the authority frame. The background, make sure, for example, my client, $600,000 a month. Make sure that in every single video, there's either employees, or he's at the office, or he's at somewhere that it doesn't look like he doesn't have any money. Clothes, he always looks clean. If he doesn't dress sharp, how can we expect strangers to automatically assume that he's sharp? On social media, you have to assume that people don't know you. People, when they watch a video, they will immediately look if this person looks sharp or not. If this person doesn't look sharp, then they won't listen to that person. What we also do to increase the authority frame is by doing worldview content. Worldview content is sharing his worldview, right? Every single person in life has unpopular opinions that go against society's standards, something that people don't really talk about much. For example, today at the church service that I'm going to, my church, the pastor was talking about divorce. He says, honestly, I couldn't care less what society says about divorce. I go with what the word of God says. And that's one of the reasons why, like the Pharisees in the Bible, they didn't really like Jesus. He was so firm. He's like, no, my father said this. This is what the word of God says, right? This is the truth. This is the way. This is the life. I am the truth, the way, and the life. Nobody goes to the Father except through me. People in Quebec, at least, don't really like Christianity. One of the reasons why is because Christians were so firm on this is the truth. It is not one truth. It is the truth. And because of that, it's like, okay, it's very polarizing. And because it is very polarizing, it's like, okay, it is either he is a lunatic, he's crazy, or he's right. And so no matter what I believe about this person holds an authority in what they say. The way that they say it, because it is so unpopular, it's like, okay, he's either crazy or he's right. Jesus Christ was either a lunatic, I forgot the other thing, but he's either a lunatic or Lord. He's either crazy for saying the things he said, or he is actually the one who he says he is. Right? People really agree with him, heavily stick with him. Pretty much when you make worldview content, people either really hate what you say or really like what you say. When you're making personal brand content, your goal is not making just another brand. Your goal is to make a personal brand. What exactly makes this person different? Probably the opinions that they have. Why does my client have a girlfriend right now? What makes the girlfriend fall in love with him? Why him and not anyone else? Why him and not the billionaire? Why him and not the guy who has a six-pack? Why him and not another guy? Find out what exactly makes him different and share the worldview that this client has. That's exactly what we're doing. And number 3, and the final one, is leveraging inputs versus outputs. Inputs is what you're putting in, the effort, time, etc. In the biblical world, it's like seeds, the seeds you're putting in. And outputs is like the fruits that come out of it, right? Your entire goal is to produce as much output as possible in the least amount of input possible, no matter what the category you go into. It is the same exact thing. Like I said, seeds versus soil versus fruit. Seed is the time, effort, what you're putting in. Soil is where you're putting in, the market, the opportunity, the timing, and everything. And fruit is what comes out of it. the results that you want, the KPI, the what comes out of it. Your entire goal is to find a way to produce as much fruit as possible while reducing the amount of seeds and time, resources needed, and effort needed. Why? Because if it takes you less seeds to put in and produce more fruit, what about now you know exactly how to optimize it so that you can just double and triple and quadruple and 10x your entire business while working less hours. Your entire goal, let's say in the Christian world, let's say a lot of outreaches, a lot of crusades spend like, let's use a hypothetical number, $50,000 to make a big crusade for like 2,000 people, and over 500 people decide to follow Jesus Christ and become Christian, become believers of the Lord Jesus Christ. My thought process is, okay, what if, let's say for the same $50,000, are you able to bring 1,000 people? If yes, how can you do it? Now, are we able to bring 1,000 people instead of 500? And instead of 50K, are we able to do it in only 1K? Can we increase the amount of fruits while also decreasing the amount of seeds? How do you do that? You find the right soil. You need the right offer. You need the right market. You need the right timing. This is pretty much product market fit. This is a product market fit. If your product, if your service fits in the right timing, in the blue ocean where no one else is doing the same exact thing as you, then people will come towards you. People will give you the views. Social media is not that hard. Social media is you put in seeds, time, effort, resources, etc. in the right soil to produce the most amount of fruit. So my entire question is, how can you produce more fruit while reducing the amount of seeds to optimize the entire thing? Your goal is to look for the right soil. 50K for 500 decisions for Jesus Christ. What if we're able to bring 1,000 people to Jesus Christ for only 1K? Can we do that? If yes, how? Now, instead of 1K, can we do it with $500? If yes, how? Can you do it for free then? Can you bring 1,000 people to Jesus Christ for free in the same time span? Yes or no? If yes, do it. If not, okay. Can you do it for $50? No? Okay, not realistic. Let's do it for $200. Not realistic. Okay, let's do it for $300. You up and up and up like that, but your goal is to produce as much fruit as possible with the least amount of seeds possible. So what we do with content is we look at what exactly produces the most amount of results. We duplicate those things, and every single time we make something, we don't make something that is so hard to replicate. Because what if one of those videos goes viral? What if one of those videos goes viral? If one of those videos goes viral, our entire goal is to be able to replicate the same exact video with the least amount of effort, time, resources possible, and replicate it so we can just have double the amount of views again. That's exactly what we did. We had a video reach it had like a 10x outlier differentiator multiplied to it. Like it performed 10 times more than other videos and stuff. And so we're like, okay, I analyzed the video. Why did it perform so well? I made another video 2 weeks later with the same exact hook. Now it is having a 30x multiplier outlier to the usual amount of views. And so when you're making content for someone that is a successful entrepreneur, $600,000 a month business owner and stuff, their offer is already dialed in. They already have a good sales process. Their team is already good. They have a good client acquisition system. Like they have a way to get clients. But the thing is, they have something different about them. You need, when you're making content about them, is to make what makes them special go out there as much as humanly possible, so that in the least amount of time possible, people can know that this man is legit and follow him, because this is already very interesting to a lot of people. It's less than the top 1% already, right? And so that's pretty much the keys to scaling a $600,000 a month. I'm so sorry. I like to speak fast. I'm zealous. Anyways, this is the key to scaling a $600,000 a month personal brand. Yeah, once again, my entire goal with these videos is to share as much wisdom as I can from what God has placed in my life, or the lessons that He gave me in my life, and to build enough trust with you, who's watching this video, so that we can one day work together to make money, to fund missions, and also to build churches. Have a great day. God bless you.